Irene Amber, also known as Kim Heesu, has a rather weird ability to have anyone simp for her. She is basically a bootlegged version of Boa Hancock because her ability is limited to the same gender, so only women around the world will fall over for her. She also had a novel that she had liked ever since she was a kid. The title was The Flowers That Bloom on Dry Branches, also known as FBDB, a weird name for a romance fantasy novel. It's kind of a subgenre, and the book has a weird, magical aura that whoever reads the first page can never sleep until they finish the last chapter. Many students have fallen under the curse and failed their exams by not studying. Kim is busy bawling that she'll do better. She even types a message on the official forum that she hopes she can do better, but she can't imagine her life without this novel. But with a stroke of fate, she never said she wanted to live as a character in the novel. A single tear trickles down her cheek. Irene is the eldest daughter of the Viscount Amber family, who are in a ton of debt. She has entered this novel as the heroine's friend, but has been tangled up in an accident and has died, and she needs to avoid the heroine to live. But before she died, due to the Viscount Amber family's debt, Claudia, a beautiful woman draped in silver, came to her as her goddess. She paid off the family's debt because she was her friend, and then she decided to live the rest of her life as her feed sweeper. Presently, a grand celebration is going on in a beautiful hall. Irene looks around, stuttering that it would be dangerous to announce that she's not getting married, but Claudia just cocks her head, wondering what that is. Irene looks at her in disbelief as she smiles. There, right now, her mouth is shaped in a weird triangle, like a squirrel. She goes for a round of cheek pinching, and Irene is helpless to stop her. If she thinks of it, the new arrivals in this season's wardrobe, she discovered a dress that completely suits her, and that's the green one she's wearing. Claudia says that she really wants to give it to her as a gift. She smiles with the brilliance of 1,000 roses, wondering if she's going to accept it or not. Because she is kind, Irene can't breathe under her overwhelming kindness. She can only live when she gets tied to someone else. Irene wonders why Claudia is clinging to her, while all the guys in the ball are staring daggers at her. If she keeps telling her to accept her fate, then she'll have to die according to her role. In between this girl's romance, a trashy version of Prince Charming wonders if she's going to live with that forever, referring to Irene, and she can't hope to live her life with this slob, or he won't be able to stand it. All he needs to do is twist her little neck. He reaches for Irene, and Irene's eyes widen in horror. She wonders if it's the end of the road for her. But Claudia arrives to the rescue, slapping his hand away and telling him not to touch her. She angrily berates him that even if he's the crown prince, she won't stand by and watch idly. The daughter of the Amber family, a voice whispers. This is an unexpected taste. A weird man with off-brand renegade and raven hair says that a girl who was almost sold as collateral due to her financially idiotic dad is interesting. Claudia stands up for her homegirl, saying, "Is he threatening Irene now?" Irene is at a loss for words, but a strange light glows behind her as she turns to look at a man with silver hair who strides forward, with an air of authority around him. He says that if one uses divine power, one can change the will of people. Irene is about to have a nervous breakdown, and Claudia once again tries to step up for her. Another silver-haired dude comes up to them, saying that he's not sure why everyone thinks they can claim ownership of Claudia. This man is Claudia's brother. He says that no one owns her, and they should respect her desires. They should hear her wish altogether. Claudia nervously says that the only one who respects her wishes are her brother and Irene. She dislikes all three of these knuckleheads. And do they really think that they could win her over by promising to like her? That's just misogyny at its peak. And they don't respect her desires or wishes at all. Looks like Claudia is the first feminist of this era, and she says that they are all barbaric men, and the only one who can owe her completely is Irene for the rest of her life. Irene's soul is about to leave her body. Claudia drags her away to a secluded bedroom. They wonder what is the love they are claiming. And doesn't it mean that they won't respect each other's wishes? That's not love. That's just possessing a trophy. Claudia breaks down crying that they are being greedy and she just wants to leave. And she can't love such shallow people. She starts berating them, saying they are horrible. Their attitude is all about giving love and not asking if she even wants it. Irene looks at her in surprise. She is supposed to be the lead novel heroine, and since the three are the male leads, she thought one of them would be connected to them. But she clearly knows what kind of people these men are, and she tried to ruin her life to survive. Irene feels bad for what she was trying to do. She apologizes for trying to force her to choose. And Claudia says that she is not someone who would do that without a reason. And if she is really sorry, she should hug her. Irene hugs her. As they are hugging, Claudia's mind goes blank, and she quickly pulls away, saying that she didn't ask for consent and she did what they were doing. Irene just smiles, saying that this situation is different. Irene smiles at her, and Claudia says, will she be together with her as a best friend forever? A new pact is formed between true, strong, and independent women, looking out for each other. And she smiles, saying that it will be a pleasure. But internally, she is crying her soul out, realizing that she must be destined to die in this life. Felix Chamberlain, he is Claudia's one and only brother, the eldest son of their family, and the youngest vice minister of magic to grace the country. He is a prodigy with a sky-high amount of mana and talent for magic. With that silver hair, he is basically Gojo in this universe, reputed for his sincere and friendly persona and valuable leadership qualities. But he also has a weird sister complex, like many older brothers of female protagonists, so he is kind of a unicorn that can't exist in real life. Irene bursts out of the room and notices Felix chilling in her front yard, playing with a cat. He looks at her and smiles, apologizing that he wasn't planning on meeting her without any notice. But she just waves it off, saying that she is completely fine. But the shock is enough to turn her into a Lego person. She has a weird illness. When her expressions are out of range, her words become robotic when there is a guy in front of her. Ever since she was a middle schooler up to college, this disease has been firmly rooted in her. She basically has the social skills of a raccoon. And due to that, the man she has a conversation with always asks her the same thing, if she is angry. Felix also asks her if that's the case. She just nervously says that she would never get mad at a beauty. At this awkward attempt at flirting, Felix just laughs, saying that he must thank his parents for giving birth to him. That's just as awkward a reply as one could expect. These siblings are truly a pair. She smiles, saying that it's been a while. Is he training to increase his magical resistance? He wonders about that. Felix was a sacrifice in the original work. The three male leaders who wanted to obtain Claudia no matter what worked together to isolate her, using relics straight from the demon realm with the potential to destroy the world. And Felix is introduced into the story at a time of destruction. He becomes a sacrifice, a pawn, and ends up taking the power of the demon in his own body, then lost control, turning into Sukuna 2.0 and massacring his entire family. The three leaders eliminate Felix, who's turned into a puppet, and rescue Claudia. Going with the truth, the big muscular man who saves the damsel in distress gets her hand in marriage. Irene wanted to stop that tragedy from happening, and that's why she told Felix to increase his magic resistance in secret. The conviction in her eyes was enough to convince him. She had no other choice, and he entertained her request, even thanking her for noticing the loophole. No matter how much one learns, they are always bound to grow. Thanks to her actions, he might actually have a future. Felix calls out to Irene, bringing her back to reality. He is relieved that she didn't wish to wake up to meet him while she was sleeping so soundly. Felix looks at her in concern and wonders if he is implying something. He just smiles, saying that it seems she has hired someone new this time. She angrily wonders what he is trying to imply. He whispers that it appears that her mage has been poached and that she is aware that she was poisoned. It might be well over a lethal dose, so she might die soon. Irene is so shocked that she turns into a beam. Is Mr. Magician really going to tell her she is going to die? She decides to believe him and asks how much time she has left. When she is told she is only half a day away from death, Irene realizes that the crazy bastards have started their little schemes. Felix just smiles. She will be able to live for half a day, and if it weren't for him, she would be dead already. Irene is at a loss about whether she should be happy or shocked. Is there an assassin here or something? Felix smiles brilliantly, saying that she should rest assured he has already sent the person away. What exactly does he mean that he sent them away? But that's not important. What's important is that Felix is about to die. Felix tells her not to stand so far away and come closer. He will cure her. She looks at him as if he were the Messiah, wondering if he can really cure her. He replies that it's not an issue at all. Irene steps closer, and he says that she will need to step closer if she wants to be healed. She should be within a head's worth of distance. He reaches out for her hand and she gladly accepts. A teary aura bursts around him, and Felix tells her that Chloe is always like her. She says that it's disgusting when he towers over people like a pole. Irene wonders when she said that. A strange light burns around her, imbuing her with health. Felix says that Chloe is always an angel and is loved by many, so she has always had many suitors. And from that point on, any man who laid their eyes upon her would fall in love. If it didn't work, many would try to reinforce it with force. He would get rid of most of them, and he has experienced such events for a while. They both stand face to face, with a healing aura blazing around them. Felix says that Chloe told him that she would take care of everything by herself, and he is not needed. And everything is ruined because of her. In the first place, he shouldn't have told Chloe to hold her back, and it's her fault that her self-esteem is so low. However, Chloe has changed a lot, and it's all because Irene is by her side. Irene looks at him, wondering if it will be spelled out loud, and she will have to be humiliated in public. Felix says that he can't remember the first time he has ever seen Chloe so happy, and he hasn't seen her that happy since she was a child. Irene looks at her hand, and it looks like she's been cured of cancer. Felix wonders if it hurts, but she says it doesn't hurt a bit. It concerns him that she is so defenseless, and he understands why Chloe is in such a hurry to bring her by her side. Irene wonders what the reason is, and Felix blurts out that it's because she's cute. This crashes her entire perspective. But since they are on the topic, Felix wonders if he can kidnap her. Just what is going on in his mind? With that kind of riz, he can only get a riz training order. Claudia launches herself into Irene's arms. She heard the news, and she didn't know that those ignorant people would use their little bag of tricks on her. A strange darkness flashes across her face. She can't imagine that they would try to get her through Irene, and she is going to find them and flay them alive, then twist their joints. Irene can't believe that such a beauty has such a sadistic side, but Claudia is going on and on about the creative ways she will get back at the assassins. Felix smiles, telling Claudia, also known as Chloe, to see to Irene, who almost got into big trouble. Chloe realizes that she must put her torture plans behind her for now and asks Irene if she's okay, but Irene is all right. She has become everyone's enemy and is publicly hated, so it's only natural that some people would try to get her. Chloe tells her not to say that. She has done nothing wrong, but she just huffs proudly, saying that they are the bad ones and she is busy being happy every day. She doesn't have time to waste on maggots who don't deserve it. Chloe wonders if they should have some fun together. She grabs her arm and drags her away, saying that she wants to show her something. Irene happily follows. They arrive at a beautiful cherry fountain, and a beautiful banquet with sweet treats is laid out for the girls. Floral arrangements are outstanding, and a few amusement park rides are also in sight. Irene's eyes are about to pop out of her socket. She wonders what all of this is. Chloe says these are all the gifts she has prepared for her. Irene can't believe what is happening. Is this supposed to be a dowry or something? It's amazing to have a rich friend. Chloe, on the other hand, takes her nervousness as rejection, asking if she doesn't like it or if it's not enough. She just whimpers that it is too much to unpack. Chloe says that she has prepared a separate dressing room and she thought it would be too messy to hang them out. Would she like to see the dresses first? Felix says that it would be better to make a river connected to all artificial waterfalls and float a boat in the middle of it. Irene wonders if he has been watching too many skibbity videos. Just what does that mean? Chloe is on the same wavelength. She says it will be a hassle, but it will look pretty. They should have a separate track for small trains to pass through, and Felix says that they should order a wagon operated by magic as soon as possible. Irene looks at the brother and sister duo, talking gibberish as if it's their own native language. She tells them to wait a moment. She didn't say that she wasn't happy. She is very happy and very thankful. They ask her if she knows. Chloe says that she is not sure about it, but she relied a lot on her, and Irene has always listened to her, but she never talked about herself. She wants to know what she likes and what she dislikes. Irene just looks at her friend in shock. The best companion of her life is money. She is. There is a separate space for meals and snacks and everything she likes to eat, but money is king. She also likes beauty and seeing beautiful faces. In that department, both Felix and Chloe are blessed as their face cards are out of this world. She says she also likes to play together with friends. She likes dolls, sleeping while hugging, something fluffy, and her dream is to become unemployed and rich. Basically, a streamer's lifestyle without the hate. Irene is brutally honest about what she likes. She is done for the day and collapses on her knees. It's not easy bearing her soul to nobility. Chloe says that she doesn't need to worry about anything. She just needs to live here. Irene looks at her with tearful eyes, wondering if it's all right if she becomes a parasite that only eats money. She smiles like a goddess, telling her that she will welcome her just like Toji welcomed that worm. She wants her by her side 24/7. She is a rich beauty, and she is the ideal type to have around. Irene looks at her as if she were her lord and savior. She tells Chloe that she is the best, and Felix says that it's expected. Being cute alone is worth it. A voice wonders if she wants to live here, and Irene claps back that she will forever. She is talking on the phone, telling her brother to keep that in mind. Her brother wonders if she wants to run away from home, and she says she is not running. She is leaving home and the mortal world after saying goodbye, but her brother tells her that she is entering the center of a magical world. So what on earth did she do to the Chamberlains? She kind of expected this to happen. Irene says it's because she is cute. She thought that she would become a weirdo over here, but it looks like things are working out for her. She asks about their father. He is the one who is crazy and sold their family for a loan. She spots Felix walking towards her and tells her brother since things have turned out like this, she is going to take the opportunity to cut ties with her father. Moreover, once he graduates, Chloe will permit them to live with her, and Felix also wants to welcome talented people. Her brother promises to call her someday, and she hangs up. She nervously looks at Felix, wondering why he is not asleep. He says he was just reading. And who was she calling earlier? She says that it was Liam. He wonders if it's her little brother. She says that he has been a brave brother ever since he was young and asks if something is the matter. He just smiles, saying that he has something to say regardless of the circumstances. It's about magical resistance, and she doesn't need to be nervous. After all, her mouth becomes a triangle like a cat whenever she is nervous. He cuts to the chase, asking the reason she asked for a favor. She says that not many believe it, but she saw something similar to a prophecy a year ago. Felix wonders if it's that, then it's a bit of a surprise, and he would definitely do that. He wonders about sacrificing himself for the greater good. Hearing it makes it seem grand, and it seems like that. They're sitting in the library, and Irene says that even if no one remembers his virtuous sacrifice, even if all of his accomplishments are undermined, is that really worth it? Even if his choice hurts Chloe forever? Felix pauses, saying that if he has to sacrifice his life, he hopes Chloe will keep on living in his stead. Irene yells that that's just what she expected out of Mr. Goody Two-Shoes. That's why she told her to develop magical resistance. The demonic power doesn't disappear because he has resistance. Irene looks at him in surprise. Doesn't that mean that her plan is destined to go up in smoke? There's no way she wouldn't know about this, since she has read the novel more than 20 times. The villain had told Felix that if he had resistance, he would be able to nullify all magical spells. However, because these demons break the souls into pieces and engrave their power within, if he accepts it, even if he has resistance, half of his soul will be crushed by the demon. She clenches her skirt, wondering what she should do. The effects of the demonic power vary, but one thing is the same. Felix tells her something so grave that Irene is about to pass out in disbelief. Felix explains that demonic powers vary in their effects, but they have one thing in common: the users won't be able to suppress their desires. A dark silence hangs between them, and Irene wonders if that's all to it. Felix says that it is still dangerous, and Irene wonders what kind of desires they are talking about. Felix says that it depends on the artifact, and he's not sure yet, but demons are born based on their desires, so naturally, they won't be able to hold back their instincts. Irene looks at him in despair, realizing it's difficult, and she wonders if she's also under the control of a demon. She remembers her little outburst when she was yelling that money is the best, and she loved beauty and delicious food. She stutters, wondering if humans feel it at least once. And the desires of a human and a demon are completely different, answers Felix, because demons can kill people on an impulse. She imagines a demon cradling a human heart and wonders if he's saying that demonic desires are amplified. 3 crazy men who did crazy things to monopolize Chloe could be an example of that. Felix is not sure what to say, and she wonders if it can be worse than that. Maybe they have already been eaten by a demon as well. She wonders about the 3 protagonists and the hollow emptiness that haunts their eyes, and Felix is troubled as he knows what she's trying to say, but he's not sure about it. Irene wonders if she should tell Felix about it. She's here to prevent the prophesied tragedy in which he had to die alone, and she won't let him sacrifice himself again. Her eyes were bright with desire, and she says that if he becomes a demon, she will hug hug him even if they end up in hell. This touches Felix immensely, and she asks him if he will listen to her after hearing her resolve. Felix clasps her hand, saying that he now knows why God showed her the prophecy, and Irene wonders if he believes her now. He says that he indeed does, because it's her, therefore he doesn't want to hurt her feelings anymore. Irene wonders why he gets the impression that she would be hurt, and once again, he answers, because it's Irene, because demons stimulate the hidden human desires. He gently kisses her hands, and Irene wonders if Felix's innate desire is to hurt her. Felix smiles, saying that it's something like that, and things take a darker turn as Felix reveals that he wants her to call him daddy. He says that she needs to let him be when he has decided to live on his own. But she doesn't want to do that and angrily grabs his hand. She angrily wonders if he really thinks that she will let him go, and she will find a way for the three of them to find happiness, so he doesn't need to go. She recalls when he said that something of a desire is burning inside of him to torment her, and Felix says that she is not completely wrong. She tries to put on a brave front, telling him not to hold back. Won't it be solved if he relieves his desire before the artifact appears? She holds her breath, and her face is tense, but Felix says that would be difficult, and she angrily pouts, wondering why he should just do it. Felix darkly tells her not to provoke him further, or she'll get in trouble, and he will also try his best. Irene wonders how he will do that, and he answers that if he keeps enduring it, maybe it wouldn't work, but she wonders how many times she will have to spell it out. He'll get sick if he holds it. And he gently cradles her head and guides her into his lap, with this world's version of Gojo as her lap pillow. She is at a loss for words. Felix tells her not to worry about anything and just go to sleep, and she wonders why she should go to sleep, but also notices what a firm thigh he has. Is he a footballer, or does he work out every night? She tells Felix that she is grateful, but her neck hurts, and he wonders if it's too high. She wants to say that it's hard and firm, like a well-done steak, but she can't say that, and he apologizes. Felix pauses for a moment, and she wonders why he is not moving. Is this his way of tormenting her? She thought it would be uncomfortable, but with Felix's patting, she quickly drifts to sleep. Felix has always been considerate of her feelings, but looking back, everything always went the way he wanted to. When she was confused whether Felix was a kind and gentle person, or if he was a wolf wearing a sheep's mask. A voice angrily says that they are doing too much, and she was already asleep. Irene is still groggy from her little boy toy nap, and she wonders what all of this is about. But Chloe bursts into the room with tears shimmering down her face. This picture is enough to shatter Irene's sense of tranquility, and she wonders why she is crying. But it turns out that she is crying because she also wants Irene to sleep on her lap. Irene smiles, saying that she will let her do whatever she wants, and Felix tells her that it is disappointing as she slept so well. Chloe wonders why he is not at work, but he says that the sun has risen and his work is hours away from being cleared. And what about her class? She says she only has afternoon classes today and he should go to work now. Felix tells her that no one will complain if he is a bit late, and both of the siblings stand in a Mexican standoff over who should be Irene's personal lap pillow. Felix pulls out a move straight from a psychological book, telling Chloe that if she skips class and doesn't study hard, Irene will be disappointed. Chloe is now troubled, knowing that she is disappointing her goddess, and Felix tells her that he will see her later. He turns to leave, and Irene can't believe how easily he passed the problem to her. She stutters, trying to play along that she likes those who work hard to improve, and Chloe stutters as well, saying that she is not the kind of person who doesn't try to improve. Irene tells her it's okay, and Chloe promises to work hard, so she shouldn't hate her. She smiles, saying that there is no way in hell she would hate her beloved friend, and they share a touching moment, but it is cut short by an elderly man clearing his throat. The lord of the house arrives, even more handsome than both of his children combined. This is Hugo, and Chloe looks at her father. She was not sure that he was around, and he should have made a sound, and his father huffs in exhaustion, saying that her brother said the same thing. He had put a finger to his lips and told him to be quiet, fearing that someone would wake up, and he wonders why he is so rude. He then looks at Irene, troubled about whether he should call her daughter-in-law or Lady Amber. He requests a private audience for a while, and Irene wonders what all of this is about. Is this about the one who stole his son and daughter's hearts? Or does he also want to be her personal lap pillow? Maybe it runs in the family. Irene apologizes, and he wonders what she is talking about. They sit in his study, and Irene is as stiff as a board. She apologizes for whisking his precious daughter away. There must be a lot of bad rumors floating around the palace these days, but Hugo tells her not to worry herself with trivial matters. He is rather grateful for brightening her up. Besides, she was really excited when he told her that she didn't have to go to that boring party. Irene laughs, and Hugo tells her that as long as his child is happy, he doesn't care what the world says. Irene realizes that Chloe is daddy's princess, and she has Hugo wrapped around her pinky. She wonders why he wanted a private audience. Hugo explains that the crown prince is looking for Chloe. He grimaces, and a strange darkness flashes across his face. He's been making excuses to reject him, but he's slowly running out of ideas, and he's not sure if he's trying to give up on being a reasonable person. But currently, he's running around like a crazy mutt. Irene notices that Chloe has inherited her little book of colorful vocabulary. Hugo remains silent and regains his composure. He can't handle his highness anymore, and Irene expresses her understanding. They need to calm him down. Hugo tells her that the reason he's asking for a private audience is that Chloe is very pure. She's a simple child who doesn't think about consequences, but Irene needs to take care of her. Irene promises to take care of her and protect her, even at the cost of her own life. Hugo raises an eyebrow, wondering if she will really protect his daughter. Irene realizes that it's too late to fix this plot hole, and Hugo tells her to watch her from the side and stop her if she goes out of line. Chloe tells Irene that it must be really frustrating to be in the mansion all the time, and she's not sure why Irene would want to go out. She asks Irene what she wants to eat. She'll buy her anything that she wants, she just needs to name it. They're in a pretty restaurant, all dressed up. Irene wonders if that's the case. She unknowingly has bagged herself a sugar mommy. She looks at the delicate menu and decides to taste one of everything, as it's always been one of her dreams. Chloe laughs heartily, telling her to go ahead and order everything. Irene is in bliss, but when she looks at the prices, her eyes are about to pop out of their sockets. But Chloe mistakes her surprise for disappointment, asking if it's too cheap for her taste. It's quite the opposite, and Irene can't see why Chloe would think that it's cheap. Chloe just laughs, saying that it's fine. Even her laugh sounds rich as she tells Irene to go ahead and order anything. Irene, with renewed vigor, prepares her heart to taste everything, but her voice spoils their mood, muttering that they heard that she rejected all the great people, and the rumors seem to be true. They look at Irene, wondering if she's the maid, and they were hoping for a great person who could captivate the young Mrs. Hart. But it looks like it's just a mudblood. They start bad-mouthing Irene for being from the Amber family. She already knows that she has no value in the marriage market. And for someone drowning in debt, is there any other way around than being someone else's lapdog? She can only live to put Miss Chamberlain's young miss in her grasp. The girl's gossip hits her like a bat of thorns. She wonders how people can be so hurtful. She hears some of them whisper that Miss was caught in a scandal by turning down the 3 most influential men in the kingdom. No matter how much the young Miss likes her friends, how could she humiliate all the people? There was a popular saying that she was not anyone's property, and if she had heard those words, she wouldn't have wished for anything else. Chloe asks for the waiter, saying that this place is rather noisy, and she wishes to spend her time alone with her companion. The butler apologizes and asks for her understanding, but Chloe doesn't cave in. She asks if she can reserve the whole place for the whole day. The waiter is at a loss for words. That's only possible for customers who have made a reservation beforehand. Chloe whips out the good old Bruce Wayne move that she will just buy the cafe and he should name the price. Later, Irene manages to stop her from making an impulse purchase, while others impulsively purchase a new top or designer purse. She was about to purchase a whole cafe, and Irene says that they should just go dress shopping and enjoy themselves. Her spirits are undefeated, and she asks Chloe to buy her everything she has seen so far, and she just laughs, telling her that she is cute and they will eat something else later. Irene says that's delightful. Since they haven't had their lunch, maybe they can check out another place. Chloe wonders if that's okay with her, and Irene is completely fine with it. Chloe just laughs, telling her to enjoy herself. She hands her a cotton candy shaped like a bunny. Irene is really pleased with it, saying that it is delicious when it melts in her mouth. But once again, gossip cuts their girl time short. A voice wonders if that person is an angel or a fairy. A huge fatty, with a face card so hideous that he must have descended from ogres, says that he must be going blind from the view in front of him. Irene wonders who the hell this drunkard is, and the man says that she looks cute when she is scared. Irene wonders if Chloe is scared. Chloe is showing no expression and asks what is this about. Instead of being scared, she looks ridiculously pissed off. The drunkard tells her that the underdeveloped kid over there is not bad, but he wants to take a closer look at her pretty face. Just what in the harassment is happening over here? It feels as if there is a barrier between them. Chloe says that her face is not pretty for him to see. A weird darkness erupts within her as she says she looks pretty for only one person in the whole world, and he should take his dirty eyes to the grave. Irene can't believe that this is the same Chloe who was offering to buy her sweet treats. The drunkard, on the other hand, is squaring up, telling the little miss that her words are too sharp for her pretty face. But she wonders what part of her looks like she is scared to offend him. Is he the only one who likes pretty things? And the drunkard wonders what is wrong with his eyes. The crowned prince is walking by in a cloak. He notices Chloe in a pickle, while Chloe is just pissed off that the drunkard called Irene an underdeveloped kid. They are about to square up, and the drunkard yells that he has called her pretty a few times, so why doesn't she just accept the praise? As the drunkard reaches for Chloe, men dressed in black cloaks flood the alley and surround him within minutes. The drunkard stares at this makeshift squad of men in black, looking like he's about to piss himself. He stutters, begging them to be gentle, but they haul him away like the trash can he is. His screams echo through the alley, falling on deaf ears. Lucas watches this bizarre scene and feels confused about who these men in black even are. Chloe wonders what else is in store for her, and Lucas realizes she's talking about him. They both question why he's here at all. Irene, meanwhile, smirks because everything is going exactly according to her plan. She had been brainstorming all morning about how to make these hotshots give up on Chloe, and after mulling it over for days, she finally recalled the perfect solution. There's a part in the novel where the MC appears, but Irene doesn't need him, since that's the moment Chloe realizes her own worth. At the time, it seemed like a brilliant idea. Lucas removes his cloak and looks at Chloe, demanding to know what's going on. He could hardly believe his eyes when he saw her pass by. Chloe, uninterested, replies that she also doubted what she was seeing. Lucas demands to know where the hell she's been hiding all this time. Chamberlain nearly sent out a search party to the estate and the mansion to track her down. Chloe, however, replies casually that she just had a good time with a friend and has nothing to hide. Lucas is left speechless when she tells him he can't act without reason. He seethes, wondering who dares stop him, claiming it's her fault for ignoring his approach. Onlookers pity the poor prince, since his words sound harsh to a maiden's ear. Chloe looks away and says she doesn't understand why someone with a fiancé is chasing her so desperately. Lucas snaps, yelling that she must know by now that he loves her. He has said it countless times. It's not a joke or a whim, and their engagement is nothing but a hoax. Chloe stares at him as if he's the greatest piece of trash ever to walk the earth. Still, Lucas insists his love is real and that it's not a sin to fall in love. Irene clenches her fist, forcing herself not to sock the poor sucker in the mouth. She's ashamed of this entire scene and just wants it to stop. Chloe, however, retorts that if it hurts so much, maybe it's not love at all. Lucas looks at her in disbelief, muttering that she's changed. A strange darkness creeps over him as his gaze shifts to Irene, wondering if she's the reason Chloe has changed. He approaches her, demanding to know what she's done to his sweet Claudia. Chloe swoops in to shield Irene, but Irene puts on a brave front and tells her to let her handle it. She declares that Chloe hasn't changed at all. She's simply regained her original self. Lucas can't accept that. How dare a woman think for herself? Irene presses further, asking if the Chloe he remembers is really the girl who closed her heart after enduring so many wounds. Lucas looks at her as if she's gone mad. Everyone loves and supports Chloe, so what could possibly hurt her? Irene answers that Chloe has always been perfect, flawless, pure, and kind, the ideal damsel, and none of that has changed. But if he doesn't love Chloe's courageous pursuit of happiness, then it means he never loved Chloe at all. What he loved was the image he had of her. Lucas yells that if that's true, then he never really loved Chloe, and she shouldn't dare try to lecture him. But Irene doesn't back down. She fires back that if he truly wants to win Chloe's heart, he has to respect her wishes. Lucas growls, asking why he should. He's the crown prince and a man, which makes him sound like a misogynistic piece of trash. Irene wants nothing more than to punch his pretty boy face, but it's a pity for the woman who still loves him. Lucas turns away, telling Chloe to let him know if she ever wants anything. Chloe sweetly replies that she has one request, that he never look for her again. She smiles beautifully while clowning the prince. The prince shifts his anger onto Irene, who nearly breaks down in tears. She whispers to Chloe, begging her to calm his rage because she spoke rudely to His Majesty. Chloe, however, tells him plainly that he's not the type of person who looks out for others and that he's the one being rude to Irene. If the business is done, they'll take their leave. Later, Irene asks Chloe about the squad in black cloaks, and Chloe smiles when Irene admits she hired them herself. It's better to protect her with her own resources. Chloe wonders if they should learn self-defense, but Irene shakes her head, saying she doesn't need to. Lucas, watching this, sees the first feminist duo forming in this medieval setting. Irene adds that for any pleasant outdoor evening filled with activities, they should have an escort, since assassins could strike at any moment. Chloe muses aloud that maybe Irene is a genius who always finds a way out. Secretly, Irene wants Lucas to notice. The days roll on, and with the National Day just around the corner, Irene realizes it's compulsory to attend the ceremony for any family granted imperial territories. Since the Chamberlains are so wealthy, they must attend the ball as well. In this empire, however, a strange law prevents anyone from building a mansion larger than the imperial palace. The first Chamberlain head, able to manage their vast wealth, built several mansions just slightly smaller than the palace. Because of this, Chloe can't participate freely, and Irene starts to wonder how she can finally get rid of the crown prince. Suddenly, a voice calls out, telling Irene that Liam is on the phone. She rushes to answer and asks him what's up. He greets her and tells her very seriously not to listen carelessly. She freezes, wondering what he's about to reveal. Irene can't believe it when she hears that her broke family was also invited to the ball. Liam tells her he even looked into it, wondering if someone was pulling a prank, but the imperial seal turned out to be the real deal. She wonders who the hell would want to invite them. Hanging up, she decides to figure out what's going on. Could the crown prince be trying to mess with her through her family? Irene refuses to give up on Chloe, and she won't quit on life either. She has to push forward and find a happy ending for both of them. One night, the moon shines beautifully overhead as Irene quietly slips out of the mansion. She wonders if anyone has spotted her, and sure enough, a voice calls out. She freezes. It's Felix, who tells her to sleep early so she can grow taller. Irene looks at him in disbelief. Is he serious? Her growth spurt is long over, and she won't be growing any taller anytime soon. Felix asks what's going on, flashing a smile so dangerously flawless that even professional models would be left a blubbering mess. Irene steps back, wondering about things like teleportation magic. She knows teleportation spells should never be engraved on artifacts. If the coordinates aren't set, you could free fall from the sky. Sometimes body parts can't follow the spell, leaving the wearer split into pieces. And in the worst cases, the coordinates are so misaligned that you end up stuck inside a wall. Irene tells him to quit the negativity, insisting it would be better to take a carriage. Felix, however, offers to escort her anywhere she needs to go. Irene pushes back, saying she doesn't like people knowing her location, so she has to go alone. Felix darkly wonders if she's meeting a man, but Irene clarifies that it's a girl. He instantly lights up and says, "That's fine," though he still looks a little troubled. Irene asks what's wrong, and Felix admits he was just feeling petty for a moment. Then he presses her about an escort. Irene does a double take. Why would she need an escort? That question alone is enough to nearly give Felix an aneurysm. Irene promises to be careful, saying she'll be back in no time. She even tries to pinky swear, and Felix realizes there's nothing he can do to stop her. He digs into his pocket and pulls out a crystal gem, handing it to her. He tells her that if something happens, she should break it, because he'll never be able to forgive himself if she gets hurt. Irene smiles gratefully before turning to leave. There are two secret organizations in the Empire. One is the City of Chaos, ruled by Benjamin. The other is Selenium, the group that gathers information. Unlike Carlisle, the publicly known neighbor, everything about these groups must remain hidden. Their secrecy has made them the center of endless wild theories. Irene knows all of this because she's the only one who has read the novel. Before meeting Chloe, she had to gather whatever scraps of information she could just to survive. After reading the novel, she sold the future knowledge from its pages and bought the information that wasn't written there. She's determined to make the most of both her character and her charm. She opens a mysterious gate and steps into a bar where an 11 out of 10 baddie is sitting alone. The woman notices Irene, and Irene immediately chirps her name, Martina. Martina greets her like an old friend, beckoning her closer. Irene runs straight into her arms, calling her sister and asking if she changed her lipstick color. Martina laughs and admits it's new, while Irene compliments her, saying it really suits her. Martina immediately starts pinching her cheeks, teasing that it feels like they haven't seen each other in forever. Irene winces from the pinching while Martina enjoys every second of it. The teasing even carries a certain charm. Martina offers her a drink and asks why she's been so out of touch lately. Irene explains that more and more people are trying to take her life. Martina finishes the thought, saying it's because Irene is Chloe's best friend and the most beautiful flower in the social world. Irene agrees, saying Chloe is a great person who deserves her love and loyalty. She even mentions that she almost had to fight the crown prince in the street for Chloe's sake. Martina's interest suddenly spikes. She jokes that maybe she should prepare for Irene's funeral instead, since it sounds like she's digging her own grave. Irene wonders why the negativity, but Martina tells her she's dead serious this time. She has no intention of helping Irene out of this mess. After all that affection, you'd think Martina would have her back, but Irene knows that deep down, Martina has a conscience. Still, Martina decides to offer one piece of advice. The Duke of Lamberge came to see her, and she asked Irene if she could guess what information he was trying to dig up. Irene recalls it being a tragic novel, and she knows that many villains will appear. Martina is one of those villains, a stunning beauty who falls for Benjamin and helps him. To put it more bluntly, she has all the information he seeks, and since the power of information is more valuable than money, this makes her dangerous. However, in this timeline, Irene moved before Martina fell for Benjamin, so she has already won. She wonders how she managed to do that. Martina suffered a lot as a poor child, and her childhood was full of loneliness. Now she puts on a brave front to hide her weakness, but deep down, she is still all alone. That night, when Martina was left by herself, Irene approached her and simply listened, empathizing with everything she had to say because she knew how to be sincere with everyone. Martina even chuckled, saying it was the first time anyone had listened to her with so much attention. From then on, Irene dropped by now and then, and Martina became like her cute little sister, though she sometimes doubts if she is being treated as a human being, especially when Martina goes for the cheek pincer attack. Martina is the only one who knows how to be sincere with everyone, yet she reveals that Benjamin has been looking for Irene's information. This shocks Irene, and she wonders what information he could want. Martina explains that he seeks personal and trivial details, such as her likes, dislikes, and hobbies. Irene wonders if this is turning into a stalker situation, but Martina says it looks more like he has a plan, though it's annoying. Clicking her teeth in frustration, she pinches Irene's cheeks once again, asking why she looks so happy. Irene replies that sometimes Martina treats her like a child. She also recalls Martina being abandoned by her mother because of her insanity. Martina then wonders why Irene has come for this pleasant visit and whether she knows the reason she was invited to the imperial ball. When Martina blurts out that it is her new grave, Irene nearly cries because she is right, but she still needs more information. Martina reminds her that the basics of negotiation must be followed. Irene realizes that if she wants to receive something, she must give something as well. She tells Martina that she wants to give something too, repeating it as if to convince herself. Martina smiles, curious about what Irene has to offer, and Irene promises to give her all the information she wants. Martina smirks, and the deal is set. Later, they look over the beautiful dresses ordered for the banquet. Irene wonders what Chloe will choose, but Chloe just smiles, saying they all suit her, so she can't decide. Irene tells her that she is focusing too much on Irene's clothes and not on her own, and no matter what she picks, Chloe will not be satisfied. She slumps on the couch while Chloe keeps playing dress-up. Irene is really tired, wondering why Chloe insists on making her look pretty when she has work to do and no time for a makeover. Chloe tells the attendant that Irene looks beautiful, no matter what she wears. The attendant realizes that she is going to have to take the fall and starts sweating as if she just finished a marathon. Irene looks at her with pleading eyes, silently begging her to say yes, but the attendant looks away, and Irene realizes she won't be able to swap out with her. Chloe tells her not to be so down. Just then, a voice says that he knows her pretty well. Felix arrives, remarking that no matter what she wears, Chloe will never be able to choose because Irene is simply too cute and adorable. Smiling, he explains that he came because he wanted to see her in person, though it looks like he is a bit early. On the outside, Irene is cool as a cucumber, but inside, she is freaking out. She tells Felix to help Chloe, but instead of moving, he just stares at her. Then he picks out a pink dress and asks Chloe what she thinks about it. Chloe agrees that Irene looks good in pink, though Irene can't help wondering why they are speaking about her in the third person as if she were a doll to be dressed up. They turn to the attendant, asking if anything goes well with Irene, and the attendant nervously agrees. Felix recalls a time when Irene wasn't so flashy. The dress his sister chose is covered in incredible details, and the lace has cherry blossoms as well. When he asks who designed it, the attendant answers that she is responsible. Felix offers her a bonus, and her eyes light up immediately. She smiles warmly at him and begins praising Irene over and over, saying she doesn't hide her color and that the peach series will suit her perfectly. Irene accepts her fate. She will be their dress-up darling whether she likes it or not. The day of the ball finally arrives. Felix makes a grand entrance and Chloe hops out of the carriage next, wearing a matching silver suit. Irene is the last to leave the carriage, and she admits that with the two of them looking like this, she feels a bit nervous. They reassure her not to worry, promising that they will be together. Reaching out for her hand, they vow to look out for her, and Irene decides to trust them as well. At last, she has arrived at the Imperial Palace, and she wonders if they will meet this time. Irene stands nervously in front of the goated duo, their combined brilliance enough to send every noble into a gossip fest. Irene, on the other hand, clenches her dress, nervous that they are talking about her and what a parasite she is to the noble brother and sister. However, Felix tells her not to pay any heed because it's not worth it. Chloe also reminds her that these people live their lives for others, and they will enjoy any show of distress she gives them, so she shouldn't let them win. If she follows them, she'll also be as bad and as ugly as they are. Irene tells Chloe that she'll never be that ugly, and Chloe just pinches her cheeks again, wondering if she's everyone's personal stress ball at this point. Later, Irene plops on her bed. Even though they were together, it turns out that the Imperial Palace has two divisions. The noble brother and sister are in the bigger one, while Irene is stuck in the smaller one, and she's not sure if the art created by Felix and Chloe can really be that useful. She looks at her pocket watch. Felix had said it would tell her their location at all times, and for now, it looks like they're still together. She wonders why she is so tired even though she just arrived, but then a strange sound catches her attention. She turns to see a man in a black tuxedo aura farming in front of her door. He looks like he jumped straight out of the 1980s and tries to rizz her up by calling her pretty lady. Irene, however, activates her Lego mode, thinking that he must be in the wrong room and wondering why he even knocked and posed like that. Without replying, she decides to leave. But the man realizes that his little raise isn't working. He goes for a more straightforward approach, introducing himself as Arasa Mori. Being the ultimate introvert, Irene is about to crack under the pressure and whimpers that she is Irene. The pretty boy tells her that she needs to see something. He clenches his fist and says that from the first time he saw her, he thought her pretty yellow eyes belonged in a museum as jewels. He doesn't care if it's rude, but he will chase after her till the ends of the earth, and he'll regret it if he doesn't confess his feelings. Irene wonders what is up with this cliché proposal. Arasa says that he knows she might be confused, but he has loved her since first sight, and maybe they can go out together. Irene can't wrap her head around what is happening. She wonders why it all feels so familiar, but she can't believe it. Arasa tries to prove his sincerity, yet Irene apologizes, saying she only believes in gods and plans on complying with her country's religion. Arasa looks at her in surprise, and Irene wonders why his act isn't working. She straight up refuses, making an ugly face, and tells him that he chose the wrong target since she's broke as they come. She's experienced this all too many times in her last life. Arasa, however, appears right in front of her, saying that he wants to talk. Irene tells him she doesn't have any money, but Arasa blushes, insisting there must be a misunderstanding because he really does like her. She apologizes again. All of a sudden, Mr. Slick turns to violence and grabs her hand, going from a love-crazed puppy to a stone-eyed lunatic in 0.5 seconds, insisting she must be under a lot of pressure. Irene nervously tells him not to touch her. His persistence is annoying, but when he asks her to give him a chance, it infuriates her even more. He says she'll change her mind once she gets to know him. He grabs her arm so tightly that it starts to bruise, and she tries to shake him off. In a dark, emotionless voice, he urges her to listen, but Irene really wants him to let her go and finally kicks him in the family jewels. His eyes go white as his eggs crack. Irene runs away after ending this man's entire bloodline, telling herself it was only self-defense against a crazy dude. She bumps into someone, apologizing as she falls, but it turns out to be Felix, who is giggling like a little girl. Irene wonders why he's here, and he says he came because he was worried about her. Though he tries to play it off as nothing, he reaches out, asking if she's all right. She says it was only a little fall and she's fine. As their hands meet, Felix notices the red bruises on her wrist and wonders if it hurts, smiling strangely. Irene quickly says it doesn't hurt much and wonders if he saw what happened. She explains she isn't normally that violent and had wanted to deal with the situation by talking, but it was getting worse. Felix smiles, saying he'll make sure those rude hands never grab anything else again, and what a shame it is that he'll have to dish out punishments to scumbags like that. Irene wonders what will happen to her, but Felix smiles like an angel while speaking like a devil, coming up with inventive torture methods and promising to slay Arasa alive. She wonders if he's an angel born in hell. How can he smile so softly while saying such terrifying things? Felix then mentions that Chloe is preparing tea and maybe Irene would like some. Irene wonders if there will be tarts as well, and Felix smiles, assuring her there will be. He asks if he can tell Chloe what happened, but Irene doesn't want that because Chloe will worry. As they turn to leave, a dark, shadowy figure watches them from behind a wall. Even after that unforgettable day, strange, clingy men continued to show up and ask her out, forcing her to go into her Lego mode no matter how stupid it was, but she couldn't just ignore them. With bags under her eyes, she realizes that it must be Lucas, that clingy guy, and she is not sure why he has set up this kind of agency, but there have been a wide variety of men mobilized to woo her. Irene wants to challenge the trashy prince to see if he can beat the two siblings in 100 days, because how can he trade a pair of Chamberlain siblings who are perfect by nature for a person like that? She is, of course, referring to the weird loser trying to propose to her with a low taper fade. The little bowl-cut worm starts squealing, asking Irene if she is playing hard to get. How talented does she really think she is? Irene is pissed off and wonders if she can say that she doesn't like someone without needing to show off. But Mr. Bowl-Cut tries to strike a pose, wondering if she is acting all big and mighty because she is living with the Chamberlain family, but insists that she should know her place. Irene pauses for a moment and tells him that he is right. She didn't see herself clearly before, but the Chamberlain siblings have told her otherwise, and it seems that no matter how many times she spells it out straight, he is still trying to find his place. The reality is that she is really cute and adorable. Mr. Bowl-Cut can't believe what amazing self-confidence she has. Prince Low Taper. Fade is about to say something rude to Irene, but someone calls out to him. They turn to see that it's Chloe. She smiles, telling Irene that she's been looking for him all over the place. Low Taper Fade looks at her in surprise and immediately starts simping for her instead, jogging her memory that he is the second son of Count Burr's family. But Chloe ignores him as if he's yesterday's trash and hands a beautiful bouquet to Irene. Irene wonders what's up with these flowers, and Chloe simply says that she picked them for her. Irene compliments them and asks if Rizzi has a spring flower, wondering how Chloe managed to get her hands on them. She looks at her bestie in shock as Chloe explains that she picked them in the Imperial Palace greenhouse. Irene wonders if she can really receive this bouquet, and Chloe laughs, asking why not, since His Majesty told her she could pick them if she wished. Irene secretly notes how good Chloe is at tricking people. Chloe looks at her face and asks why it is so red, and Irene replies that it's just a bit hot today. Chloe tells her that they should head back together. The boy with the horrible haircut is left standing there. Chloe looks at him and bluntly says that she thought he was gone. Irene is still feeling hot, so they decide to leave, and Chloe adds that if he has any other business, he should state it. The bowl-cut loser tries to keep the conversation going, insisting that they still need to talk, but Chloe cuts him off, asking if that's so, and then demands to know if he'll take responsibility if Irene gets a heat stroke because of him. Her eyes brim with silent threats, and it's enough to send him scurrying off. Later, Chloe dotes on Irene, telling her to be more careful, while Irene looks at her handkerchief, wondering if Chloe embroidered it herself. She studies the pattern, which is supposed to look like a spider, but presently looks more like a black hole. She tries to guess what it is, and when she wonders if it's the sun, Chloe looks like she is about to cry. Irene tries to use all her brain cells to the best of their ability and finally guesses that it's a flower. Chloe smiles, saying that she got it right. Chloe looks at her face again, asking why it's so red, and Irene admits that it feels like no one cares about her as much as Chloe does. This is enough to cheer her up. Chloe tells her that it looks too hot today, and maybe they should head inside. They arrive in the bath, and Chloe, with a hint of disappointment, says that she thought they could play in the water. As they sit by the pool, Irene replies that they are playing in the water, but it's only a bathtub, and since Chloe said they could play in the water, she expected something like a lake. Irene reminds her that the palace is different from the mansion, since a lot of people are watching them, and until they get home, they should be satisfied with the bathtub. Irene also tells Chloe that it's good she doesn't let go of her personality while staying at the palace. Chloe, on the other hand, wonders why so many people are trying to go after Irene. No matter how much Irene denies it, other people think she is cute. Irene, however, insists that they are people sent by His Majesty. Chloe wonders if all of them are in on the scheme, but Irene says that she is wrong. Chloe looks at her as if they're discussing a national emergency. She didn't expect Irene's popularity to explode this much and tells her to be a little less cute. Irene nervously thinks that Noelle would be interested in her, but Chloe still wants to be at the top of her fan club. Irene then tells her that she can't be compared to any of them because no one in the world can match her. Chloe says again that she wants to play in the water, but the tub will take a long time to fill. Irene wonders if she can help fill it, and Chloe asks if Irene is suggesting she fetch the water herself. That's not what Irene means though. She wants to see Chloe use magic. Chloe replies that it isn't difficult, but she is still hesitant. Irene looks at her with sparkling eyes, saying she hasn't seen it before and really wants to. Chloe is glad that Irene is making requests. She coughs, saying that if it's for her, she can't help it. If Felix is the natural wizard of the family, then the one with the most mana and highest affinity is none other than Chloe. She whispers to the spirits, and a bright burst of blue energy glows in her palm. With such high affinity, she can talk to spirits, and soon water vapors start forming around her, filling the bath. As the magical water continues to pour into the bath, Irene looks at the rising water level in surprise, saying that it's amazing. Chloe nervously scratches her cheek, telling her it takes everything she has to do that. Irene looks at her with sparkling eyes, telling her that she is amazing. Chloe clarifies that since it is an easy spell, kind of like a party trick, she can use low-level spirits. However, if they need to crank up the magical meter, they will have to sign a contract with a higher spirit. Irene wonders how one makes a contract, and Chloe tells her that they will have to send flames into the spirit realm to be chosen by the spirits. She imagines a magical circle blazing with energy. Irene cluelessly wonders why Chloe doesn't already send the flame over. Doesn't she want to become a spirit sergeant? It turns out that signing spirit contracts is harder than getting a student loan with bad credit. Chloe has tried a couple of times but failed in the end. Even though she was following all the instructions, it all fell apart, and the failure disturbed her, plummeting her self-confidence. Irene wonders if that is what Felix was implying. The spirit of vain, Nihilus, she imagines as a dark, devilish creature, a spirit that interferes with magic because it is waiting for Chloe's flame. These spirits often create situations where one of the emotions the character feels is boosted. Then they feed on the emotion, and in the end, they control the character and increase their power. She realizes that it is all going to be ruined sooner or later. She imagines Chloe wallowing in despair with her hair disheveled and her eyes devoid of the usual cheerfulness she shows. In the original story, the contract was cancelled. She wants to call out to the writer, wondering if he likes it when he chews on bitter fruit by making his character suffer. She wants to strangle the writer. Maybe he draws inspiration from Gigi after what he did to Gojo, but Irene tries to calm herself down. The fact that the spirits who follow Chloe are interfering with her chances of making a flame contract must mean something. Chloe looks at her hands, saying that it is kind of strange. She can't see or hear spirits even though she is supposed to be in tune with them. When she entered the academy, everyone was saying that she was going to be the first one to summon a spirit king, and everyone held high hopes for her. However, in the end, she disappointed everyone, and they all left. Her eyes shimmer with unfallen tears. She barely even graduated and scraped by at the bottom of the class. But to Irene, it doesn't matter. She's her friend and her bestie, and that's everything. Well, maybe a sugar mommy as well, but that is another story. She wraps her hands around Chloe, accepting her the way she is. She doesn't care if she can contract a spirit or not. As long as she is happy, that is all that matters. Chloe melts into her embrace, and Irene tells her about her own anxious thoughts. She trauma dumps that the spirits of the human world like Chloe, and they are obstructing her flame to the spirit realm. Maybe she is being protected from danger. Chloe looks at her as if she has lost her mind, wondering why she would be in danger. She is supposed to be the danger after all. As the first feminist of her era, Irene tells her that there are always exceptions in the world. Even angels are different. Lucifer used to be an angel before falling, so she can't trust spirits blindly. Chloe raises her eyebrow, wondering if there is a mad spirit attached to her, and she can't be closer to the truth. Irene imagines the dark devil waiting for her flame. She is worried that something big will happen if she doesn't cut it out. Irene whips out her fake tears, saying that if Chloe gets hurt, she will be sad. Chloe immediately starts to fumble, asking what she should do. She doesn't want to make Irene sad. Irene says that there are only lesser spirits in the natural world. She has been waiting for this little interaction, and Chloe has fallen into her trap. The Tory spirits are intermediates of higher spirits. In that case, Chloe will have to sign a contract with a higher being. Chloe tells her that her plan seems to be flawless, but if she goes into the spirit realm, another spirit might square up against her. However, Irene smirks, telling her that higher spirits exist in the human world as well. This is the first time Chloe has heard about this. Irene looks at her like a know-it-all, saying that independent spirits don't belong anywhere, and she can think of them as rejects from the spirit world. Chloe looks at her, wondering where she is getting this occult knowledge from. Irene just smirks, saying that she knows everything. Independent spirits are beings without any limitations. One can sign a contract even if they are not in the spirit world. Chloe wonders if she can really contract a spirit, and Irene reassures her that it is not that difficult. After the founding of the nation, she asked Felix to go, and the three of them went to find an independent spirit. Until then, she will make Chloe happy every day by staying here. The Thanatos flower symbolizes death, and Irene gets a weird threat note telling her to knock it off. This is her last warning. She wonders if she will have to try to spend 100 days over here. She has both of the Chamberlain siblings wrapped around her pinky, but she hates to work hard. Even so, if it is for them, then she doesn't mind. For the siblings, she is willing to walk on coals. Inside a beautiful palace, someone is droning on and on about the greatness of their nation. Chloe is bored with that, wondering why there is a 2-hour speech going on and how she can possibly fall asleep. All of a sudden, she looks at a golden dragon flying above her head. She looks at the dragon with inquisitive eyes, wondering if it is a result of magic. The dragon is mystic in every aspect, the true embodiment of light. She turns to Chloe, wondering if she has ever seen it in a concert. Isn't it cool? Chloe is still groggy from her little nap, and Irene tells her not to mind it. Felix gets up, saying that there is nothing in the world that is useless. They have to ensure the greatness and the value of their love by enduring hardships. If they ignore the difficult parts, then the things they actually like doing will become difficult. Felix looks at Chloe, asking her if she can walk, but she is sound asleep. Felix decides to leave by himself. He will drive her to the palace. As he turns to leave, carrying Chloe like a kitten in his arms, Irene tells him to take care of himself. She also needs to get some work done. The only noble daughter of the Dept-Ridden family is a red-headed beauty named Erica. Irene needs a favor to ask her, so she tries to get closer to the red-headed beauty, but she comes face to face with someone she is avoiding. The man calls out to her, and Irene is clearly troubled, pretending not to know him. After all, he is the scumbag father who sold her when he couldn't get out of his little gambling problem. The scummy old bag calls out to Irene, saying that he has to tell her something. Irene looks at him as if he were an Asian kid who doesn't know math, and she outrightly tells him that she has nothing to do with him. However, the man says that he understands why she is mad, but insists she needs to set her anger aside for a bit. Irene questions him, asking why she should be mad at a stranger, because he is being weird. This infuriates the old man, and he facepalms himself, wondering why she is like this. He insists that they need to find a quiet spot to talk. Later, Irene tells him that he has already sold the good wares, so why does he care about something that is now in someone else's possession? The man angrily wonders why she is acting like she is not part of the Amber family, but Irene says that she really doesn't want to be part of this broken household. The man reminds her that even if he is unchangeable, he is still her logical, biological, and legal father. Irene remembers the same man bullying her 1 year ago under the same pretense, and she wants to give him a piece of her mind about all this legal nonsense. He has the gall to act like her father after failing to come up with a solution. The man yells about how he raised her since she was young and says that she needs to repay every favor she has received. The people around them begin muttering, thinking it looks like a serious conflict, while Irene wonders what he really wants to talk about. He says it's about her marriage. Irene realizes that he wants to sell her off for the second time. She decides to hear him out in a quiet place, and the man smirks, realizing that things are smoothing over and that it's better for her to be obedient. He promises that she will live like a princess. Irene looks at Erica, wondering what a wonderful family she has, and she smiles. Erica also takes notice of her. Later, Chloe wonders what happened while she was gone. Irene tries to calm her down, but Chloe angrily grumbles that mentioning parental rights and pushing for marriage is crazy. Felix wonders who that man was, and Irene says that it's Earl TB. Chloe is so furious that she is about to unlock Berserk mode. He is the guy who is 12 years older than Irene, and she wonders where in the world that comeback came from. Irene says that she doesn't want to marry him anyway, and that she just needs to take a little advantage out of them. Chloe demands to know what all of this is about, and Irene says that it's that trashy crown prince's scheme. Chloe gets furious once again, about to unlock Ultra Ego, her eyes burning with seething rage, and Felix reminds her not to curse. He also smiles beautifully while saying, with a straight face, "Shame on the dog." Both of the girls look at him, wondering how he can keep such composure while cursing someone. They start bad-mouthing the scoundrel over and over again, and Chloe wonders how her brother can remain so calm about it. Felix explains that Earl Teeb is a reputable earl from the kingdom of Krutia. The kingdom is on the other side of the globe, so they must travel there by boat, and since it is outside of the mainland, diplomatic ties are valuable. Even if they use magic to scout the seas first, it will be of no use because it is so far away. Felix smiles once again, proving that he is the angel born in hell. He tells the girls that no one would notice if they gave the Earl a water burial. Irene realizes that this man is scheming to put her fiancé into a casket with a one-way ticket to a free boat ride. Chloe wants to adopt Irene into their family, but fails, and Felix says it is not possible. Since Count Amber can be bought with money, he suggests they give him double the price and everything should be fine. But Irene tells the duo to calm down, reminding them that they shouldn't do anything illegal. Moreover, she has a better way to solve this little dispute. Later, Erica is standing by herself, looking at her palace. Irene approaches her, apologizing for showing her terrible side earlier. She greets her courteously, and Erica says it is not the first time they have met, but it is the first time they are talking. Irene looks at her in surprise, wondering if she knows her. Erica pauses for a moment and then tells her that she is famous for being the adored one. She has heard that Lady Chamberlain picked a flower in the royal greenhouse for her, and that is not something just anyone can do. Erica says that she is often compared to the roses that grow there. On account of her startling red hair, people admire her, but she admits that even though those roses look beautiful, they smell like weeds and their scent is nothing special, so they are selected to be picked by top-notch flower owners. Irene wonders if this is the true willpower of flowers, but Erica solemnly says that flowers don't need willpower. All they need is beauty and nothing else. She then tells Irene that she has heard about her marriage last night, and she calls it a good thing because the Chamberlain family will not take responsibility for her any longer. Irene wonders how it can be good without any willpower. Erica tells her that just like flowers, people don't need willpower. They need to follow what they are told. Irene replies that she only lives once, and living without willpower is a sad thing to see. This touches Erica, and the corner of her mouth twitches into a smile. She wonders if Irene uses these kinds of lines to make Lady Chamberlain like her. Irene smiles, and Erica wonders what she truly wants. Erica stands her ground as Irene says that she will not fall for her father's scheme and that she will follow her own route in this world. Erica reminds her that her own choices will bring her misery, but Irene questions whether that is really the case. Irene tells Erica that only misery awaits someone who doesn't know who they are, and if she can't recognize what she really wants, she will always be unhappy. Finally, Irene offers to show her what she really wants: the willpower of flowers. Erica is the only daughter of the Dapalacion family, a striking beauty with flawless skin and crimson hair cascading from her shoulders like a waterfall of fire. Her presence turns heads wherever she goes, yet beneath that elegance lies the cruelest woman in the novel, and, unfortunately, the Crown Prince's fiancée. In the original story, she oppressed Chloe in every possible way. Erica was fire itself, blazing against Chloe's calm, water-like nature. She crossed Chloe's path again and again, engineering accidents to bring her misfortune. At one point, she even ordered a maid to push Chloe into a river. She spread false rumors among the elite without hesitation, and Lucas knew of her schemes yet never stopped her. For him, it was convenient that Chloe became more and more dependent on him. The turning point only came when Erica attempted to kill Chloe. Then and only then did the nobles turn their eyes on her, and she was swiftly cast aside. In that way, Erica's life played out as tragic as it was cruel. She was someone who once loved deeply, more than anyone else, but she was taken advantage of and then abandoned at her lowest. Now the situation is different. Chloe has already rejected Lucas, and there is no need for these two beauties to clash again. The only remaining trait Erica reveals is her jealous streak, especially when Lucas displays affection toward Chloe. Each time she vents her fury by glaring at Chloe with eyes sharp enough to hatch curses, and she gets jealous when she finds out that she loves Chloe, and she gets jealous when she finds out that she loves Chloe, and she gets jealous when she finds out that she loves Chloe. The repetition itself shows how obsessive this jealousy truly is. It seems obvious that she wants to be the future empress, and perhaps power is her real desire. Yet her entire family is obsessed with power anyway, their very emblem symbolizing it. While Erica herself has little interest, she is simply a doll, a beautiful puppet that her family uses to advance their ambitions. Irene smiles beneath the cherry blossoms and promises Erica that she will show her what she truly yearns for, the deeper meaning of life itself. This promise sparks Erica's curiosity, and for the first time, she smiles earnestly. Later, Lucas sits drinking tea with his personally chosen knights. They gather around him as one of them raises a matter, saying he has heard news about Lucas promoting Irene's engagement with Count Tebe, the ambassador from the kingdom of Crutia. Lucas narrows his eyes and demands to know what the knight is implying. The question lingers in the air, and Erica's father steps in, insisting that no matter how small Crutia may be, their kingdom has always shared ties with the empire. The least the empire can do is match them with a duke's daughter, a lady of proper status. If this engagement is meant as a gift to strengthen relations, then choosing a girl of extraordinary beauty should be obvious. Count Tebe, after all, would hardly want a gift that is difficult to manage, a veiled insult aimed at Irene's strong-willed nature. Other dukes join in the argument, agreeing that such a decision cannot be made by Lucas alone. Furious, Lucas demands to know why this trivial subject was raised during the annual Noble Assembly. Benjamin, watching his agitation with amusement, feigns ignorance. Lucas snaps at him, demanding to know if he has something to say. Benjamin calmly smiles and replies that if everyone disagrees, perhaps Count Tebe should simply be given the choice of whether he prefers a beautiful lady or Irene. The words nearly send Lucas into an aneurysm. Clenching his teeth, he grabs Benjamin's collar in frustration, only for a cautious voice to remind him to think before acting. Lucas snarls back, telling them all to shut up. He insists it is all because of the Duke. Benjamin shrugs, questioning why he should be blamed for everyone's decision. Lucas blurts out that only the Duke has the sway to alter outcomes, his hobby being the disruption of schemes. Benjamin, unfazed, thanks him for the compliment and makes it clear he does not take kindly to petty threats. He reminds Lucas that even attempts to meddle in the Chamberlain family have failed. The nobles murmur among themselves, wondering why such a clever girl as Irene was ever adopted by that household. Chloe is willing to sacrifice herself for her family, yet Irene has filled her head with dangerous ideas. Benjamin remarks that among the counts there are men who waste time chasing plays, and if Irene's engagement is pressed, perhaps they should look toward countries where same-gender marriages are already legalized. Lucas stiffens, realizing Benjamin is hinting that Chloe might prefer women. He does not find the remark amusing and warns him not to joke about it, but Benjamin coolly advises him to calm down, pointing out that if the Chamberlain family must endure gossip, then they may as well embrace it with a smile. Lucas mutters that Irene could be turned into a ghost, since no one can marry a ghost. Benjamin smoothly reminds him that she is still a Viscount's daughter, and such thoughts are beneath him. Lucas fumes, unable to understand why Chloe is changing so drastically. She is turning into the first feminist of this world, saddled with whispers of being fruity, and in his mind, that makes her a true 10 by 10 baddie. Benjamin watches him closely, then asks if he is curious why the Duke has stepped in on Irene's behalf. Lucas assumes it must be because they want Erica to secure the Crown Princess's seat, but Benjamin shakes his head and says that it is not Erica's order. He advises Lucas to question what is in front of him, for prodigies will always appear. Lucas mutters that perhaps Erica's prodigy status lies in making men simp for her. Benjamin ignores the jab, speaking in riddles about trust being a valuable gift and words having the power to drive others forward. Their discussion drifts back to Irene, the so-called diamond in the rough. She is honest, emotional, and radiant with potential. Benjamin confesses that he would like to seize that diamond to crush it before it has the chance to shine. Lucas glares at him and calls his tastes bizarre, but Benjamin simply smiles and asks that his preferences be respected. Lucas, still bristling, wonders why this false duke is demanding his respect. Benjamin only hints that he has an intriguing plan. Perhaps Lucas should listen. His advice is simple but cutting. Give up on Chloe for now and go after Irene. A single touch is all it takes to shatter a person's heart. Chloe apologizes for not telling everyone first, explaining that she was not sure they even liked each other. She asks Irene to let her know next time before she gets worried. Irene is accompanying both siblings and their father, and Chloe looks at her in surprise, wondering if she is closer to Irene than she is. Irene only smiles, wondering how that could be, since Chloe is her #1 fangirl. Chloe looks at her skeptically, questioning if that is really true. Felix interjects, asking what about him, and Irene simply smiles, telling the siblings that they are both at the top of her little fan club. As the three youngsters continue furthering their playful romance, Hugo listens to them with a grave face. He wants to nickname Irene as Baby, and Felix immediately likes the idea of calling her that. Hugo wonders why not, while Felix tells Chloe to stop pinching Irene's cheeks. Hugo tries to call her Baby, but he stutters, turns away, and leaves in embarrassment, saying that the celebration is about to start. Irene smiles, finding his clumsy attempt at a compliment rather cute. Later, Erica is waiting for Irene in a blood-red dress that complements her hair well. She wonders why Irene doesn't intend to stay with her. Irene looks at her in surprise, and Chloe immediately steps between them. Chloe tells Erica that that cannot be, but Erica only says it is a shame. She wants to stay beside Irene and hear more about the meaning of flowers. Can flowers be valuable even if they are not pretty? She asks. Irene reassures Chloe and then answers Erica, saying that flowers are valuable even if they are not beautiful. That simple statement touches Erica immensely. For the first time, she smiles genuinely, telling Irene that she is being greedy. They look at her in surprise, and Erica's beautiful smile is enough to give Irene a nosebleed. Chloe panics, realizing that this is not something she herself managed to cause. Erica nervously asks if she can call Irene by her name, but Chloe angrily protests. Why should she get that privilege when they have only known each other for a couple of days? Chloe thinks the situation feels a bit strange. It looks as though the villainess wants Irene, and that is why she is bothering the female lead. Irene imagines the two girls fighting for her, and her mouth drops open. Yet if it really came to a fight over her, Chloe would be packing serious heat, and Erica could not hope to defeat her. Erica merely smiles and asks if Irene will continue to stay at the Chamberlain mansion, suggesting that perhaps she could stop by sometimes. Chloe immediately interjects, telling her not to come and that she will send her away. Wrapping her arms around Irene as if protecting her most precious rose, she declares that she is the owner of the house. Erica then decides to try a different approach, inviting Irene to her own palace instead. Irene realizes she does not have a chance to answer. Chloe is hugging her so tightly that she is about to pass out from oxygen starvation. Chloe stubbornly insists that she will not let them meet, no matter what. Later, Irene is relaxing in her personal amusement park. Nothing special happens after she passes out from that half-Nelson Chloe whipped up in the name of a hug. However, it is true that everyone now looks at her as if she were a prized pony. They let her eat, sleep, repeat, and even play with her. She wonders why the other maids don't find her annoying and why they seem happy with her presence. It feels as though she has become the pet of the Chamberlain mansion. She even imagines herself as a prized corgi, just like the ones the queen owns. Felix arrives and Irene subconsciously remarks that she is only playing her part as a pet. She wonders why he hasn't taken off his cloak, and he explains that Benjamin wanted to meet with her. Irene grows nervous, wondering why Benjamin would want to see her. Felix admits he doesn't know, but he delivers the message. Chloe told him that Duke Rember is the one who rules the city of chaos. Felix wonders if the Duke wants to reach out because of her family's debt, since otherwise there would be no reason to contact them. Irene, however, suspects it might be part of a plan and feels the need to watch him closely, especially since she sensed eyes on her during the celebration. Both of them find it suspicious, and Irene decides to meet him once. Felix asks if it will be safe, but Irene replies that they have no other choice. He offers to accompany her for assurance, but she tells him not to worry and that they will discuss it in more detail later. Felix looks at her like a dejected puppy, wondering why Chloe gets to hug her every time while he doesn't enjoy the same privilege. Spreading his arms, he asks Chloe to hug him too. Even though it breaks her usual rules, she jumps into his arms, and Felix blushes, finally receiving the reward he wanted. Felix carries her bridal style, warning her to be careful and reminding her that stranger danger is a real thing. As they continue their little cut scene, Felix tries to test his boundaries by asking for a kiss. Irene looks at him in surprise and starts wriggling around, telling him to stop teasing her and put her down, but he refuses. Benjamin is likely behind the assassination attempt and the poisoned drink. Even though Irene already knew it, she admits that man has great intuition. While everyone else may have laughed at first, he must have realized Chloe was sincere about spending her life with Irene. He probably thought it best to find a way to deal with Irene before it was too late. After all, trampling and taming before something grows is the way of the Duke. Irene wonders aloud if she must really face someone who tried to kill her, and Felix says that is indeed the plan. They arrive at a strange mansion where Benjamin is busy cosplaying Voldemort. He smiles and tells them they are earlier than expected. Suddenly, a strange smoke covers the area, and Felix shields Irene with a burst of magic. He tells the Duke that that is enough, but the Duke simply replies that he has lit this little candle and cannot put it out. Felix, however, is more than happy to help him extinguish it with a burst of water magic. As soon as it is out, the Duke calmly warns him to be careful, explaining that many medicinal herbs are kept there. They then decide to talk over a spot of tea. Surprisingly, the Duke tells them that he only wants everyone to get along. Irene doubts whether he even understands what get along means. If he is sincere, she suggests, then perhaps he should stop filling the place with strange scents and potions. The Duke smiles, claiming that the other ladies dig it. Irene, however, retorts that this tough cookie does not, adding that while he may be handsome, his breath stinks. That out-of-pocket comment creates an awkward silence so strong that Benjamin radiates the aura of an adept. Felix struggles to contain his laughter, while the Duke tries to laugh it off, saying she was being a little impolite. Yet if her goal is to provoke him, there is no need to try so hard, because he will not harm her. He wonders aloud what he should do to capture her attention. Irene bluntly tells him that he cannot get that, and what he can get from her is only a restraining order. Felix bursts into laughter, while the Duke apologizes for offending her, insisting that he only cares in his own twisted little way. Irene then asks if this tea party was organized just for him to speak in riddles. She tells him to get to the point and explain why they are even meeting. Gathering her courage, Irene boldly advises Benjamin to give up on Chloe. She tells him to confess, get dumped with pride, and disappear forever. Benjamin smirks, saying he doesn't need her advice. Irene nearly smacks him upside down, but the Duke calmly replies that he doesn't care for her advice, no matter how good it is. Irene, however, insists that she is not there because she likes it. She is there to give him advice and a chance not to end up badly with Chloe. Benjamin asks what he should do and wonders if their standards for the worst are simply different. Irene explains that the first ending she is referring to is that he never wins Chloe's heart. Of course, it would be great if he did, but since he has already decided not to ask for too much, he only hopes it does not come to the worst. Irene then asks what the worst case scenario is for him. Benjamin answers that the worst would be losing Chloe forever. He claims it does not matter if he cannot not win her heart, he should at least secure her body, because once he has that, her heart will follow someday. Felix immediately calls out that misogynistic, sexist piece of trash, warning him to mind his tongue. He says that if Benjamin ever forces someone to accept him, he will not stand idly by, no matter who Benjamin is. If that is all he has to say, then they should leave, and he should never call them again if this is the best he can come up with. Benjamin coolly replies that he doesn't recall inviting Felix in the first place. Felix retorts that he hopes Benjamin never invites Irene either. He reaches out his hand to her, and Irene takes it. However, the Duke insists that he wants to be close to Irene. He tells her that he is sincere about wanting that closeness. Though he admits he cannot afford it, he still wants to spend time with someone like her. Irene asks what he means by someone like her. He explains that she is a gem capable of reflecting 1,000 lights depending on how it is cut. She is a diamond in the rough, and he is a gambler. Even though it may be impossible, he wants to win her over and personally trim that diamond. Benjamin then gives her a final warning, saying she once looked at him with sad eyes years ago when he was smoking, and then she suddenly changed, as if she became someone else. With that, he nails Irene's deepest secret. She freezes, feeling as if she has just been accused of identity theft. Benjamin scratches his chin, wondering if her preferences have changed or her worldview has shifted. Irene nervously tells him that he's sorely mistaken, but Benjamin reminds her that he has good eyes for reading ambition, and he's sure that she never had hatred and killing intentions in her previously. But now, there's a different story, and he wants to destroy it. Irene starts sweating out of nervousness. Felix loses it and wonders what he is implying. He lets loose a saber of pure energy inches away from Benjamin's neck. Benjamin looks at the torn sofa in amusement. Felix tells the Duke that he has said something unforgettable. He also tells the Duke that the sofa looks kind of old, referring to the scratch he has just made. Benjamin calls out to Irene, telling her that Felix has the same eyes as a hypocrite who hides his ambition deep within him like a monster just like him. Benjamin tells Irene that humans live to do whatever they wish to do, and he will also live his life in the same way. Irene nods, saying that she also has ambitions, and honestly, who doesn't? Benjamin chuckles. He knows that she has a sweet tooth for money, and the way she is honest about her ambition is really beautiful, even though the Chamberlain family is a very wealthy one. Benjamin steps closer, looking down at her and promising to shower her with wealth as well if she takes his hand. This is the first opportunity they have at bonding their joint love for money. Irene tells him that even though money is king, she will stay by this family's side till the bitter end. Even the Chamberlain family is brought to extinction. Benjamin tells her that she will be disappointed, but Irene smiles with the brilliance of 1,000 suns, saying that she will never be disappointed. Benjamin is a bit taken aback by her enthusiasm. He wonders if he should use his own hands to peel off that cover from this hypocritical family, but Irene challenges him to try. She is determined to accept anything that comes out of the Chamberlain family. Later, they turn to leave, and Irene is a bit nervous about her whole confrontation with Benjamin. She looks at Felix, wondering if he's mad, but Felix is so pleased he's smiling like an angel. Irene is blinded by his charming smile, wondering why he is not mad at her. Felix chuckles, telling her that she has done pretty well and she should use the same way to deal with him in the future. Irene cocks her head, wondering if she should have cooperated better and been a little less difficult with him. Felix tells her that that's not the case. If she had listened to his banter, she would also have become a monster. Later, the silvery duo pulls up to the crib with an army of servants carrying gifts for Irene. Irene looks at them in surprise, wondering what is happening. In the next moment, she is buried under a mountain of shopping bags. This is the embodiment of the Chamberlain's love. Irene struggles to get out of the pile of gifts, and she comes face to face with a lovely vanilla cake. Both of the siblings wish her a happy birthday. She smiles earnestly, thanking them for this kind gesture. And this is enough to give Chloe a nosebleed at how adorable Irene is. She happily starts showing her all the gifts she has bought, ranging from high heels to a hat that looks like a bonnet, a couple of handbags, and dresses. Chloe happily says that it was as if they were made for her the moment she saw them. She even contacted the designer and hired them to be Irene's personal designer. From a broke girl, sold off by her father, to pay off his debt to a noble's dress-up darling, her life has been one hell of an adventure. Chloe wonders if she is satisfied, and Irene points out that it looks like she is more excited, and that's cute. She tells Irene that she is glad for everything she has done, but when she looks at one of the price tags, she is about to get a stroke. Chloe happily says that she took an opportunity to even open a brand named after Irene. She has named it Renee. Irene wonders just how far she is willing to go to simp for her. She truly deserves the VIP row seats in her fan club. Irene tells her that her birthday presents are already a lot, but they need to get down to business. She pulls out an ancient-looking map with a circle drawn around Kamalai, an island in the Chileo in the south of the empire. This area is full of mountains, and the people are a rather superstitious bunch. They think that independent spirits roam these islands. Irene wonders if she has ever heard of the island. Felix says that he's heard that there was a pathway that devils used to get through, and this island was discovered in an evil aura. Chloe also heard that there are a couple of diplomatic issues in the area. It's a special area that even the emperor can't visit. Irene tells them that they're right, and she heard that no one comes to Kamalai Island anymore. If there are living people, they would be trade unions, and it would be difficult to bring anything out of the island. Right now, it's just a dark, dusty place where no family can survive. Chloe innocently wonders if all the citizens have already gone to heaven. Irene tells them that the island has a special area called the Fanilo Trade Union, and it is said that the trade union prohibits outsiders from approaching. But there's a rumor that on the land of drought, there are no plants and the soil is rich and the trees are thriving. Chloe wonders why that is, and Irene says there's a 100% chance that this place exists and an independent spirit is likely roaming around there. Just what they need to juice up Chloe's magical abilities. If they examine this whole situation, it looks like it's not a normal spirit. The problem is how to get to the island, as no one is allowed to get in. A voice wonders what the problem is. Chloe and Felix are ready to pull a Bruce Wayne move on the island by buying it. Irene looks at them, wondering just how wealthy these two siblings are. Chloe smiles, saying it's a pity she has already brought Irene's presents. But Kamalai Island is perfect. It is a perfect summer vacation home, and that would be nice. Irene just smiles nervously. That's the best way to do it. But even if they vacation on the island, what about the spirits? Chloe just laughs, telling her that they can do the same thing at the same time. Irene pauses for a moment, telling them that they're right. Kamalai Island is quite far away, and maybe they can travel there by magic. Felix reminds her that if they want to travel in secret, they shouldn't be leaning on magic. Irene wonders why, and he tells her that all of the magic is recorded by the wizards at the ministry so that they can prevent dark magic. The ministry focuses on developing children and their abilities. Because of that, they implant special chips in their hands. Irene can't believe that they've been implanted with chips. That's the way they deal with rogues so that they can know what kind of magic they're using at all times. She wonders about the air blast. That's a spell that one uses to basically self-destruct like a Geodude. And there's also a spell called hand implantation, but no wizard can use magic without their hands. Even if it's for a brief movement, the coordinates will be reported to the ministry. Chloe looks at her hands in disappointment. Felix smiles, telling them that they can escape the law even with the records. He snaps his fingers, and the statue behind him just explodes into two pieces. Felix says there's a principle that controls temperature, and they can't create a large capacity of change, so it will only be recorded as a simple heat cooler. Irene trembles at how good Felix is at finding loopholes. She even questions the use of the magic tracking chip. Felix just smiles, telling her that not everyone can use these loopholes. Both Chloe and Irene huddle together, wondering if he really is the angel born in hell. Irene smiles, wondering if there is a way they can retrieve objects. Felix pauses for a moment and realizes that there indeed is a way. Felix wonders if Chloe can talk to men. Chloe, on the other hand, is busy attacking a vanilla sundae. She wonders if she just needs to talk, and Irene says that that really is. She asks Chloe how she normally talks to anyone belonging to the other gender. Chloe says that all she knows is how to make an argument, and seeing how she is a strong and independent woman, that's all she needs to know. Chloe notices how comfortable Irene is when talking to her big brother. All of a sudden, Chloe finds herself in an existential crisis, asking Irene if she likes someone. Irene just refuses these allegations. She just knows someone who's pretty decent. Chloe starts spiraling, wondering how someone can be decent. What does she mean? Irene tells her that's not like that. She just wants to get close to him as she feels that he's a good person. This is a bigger shock for Chloe, and her mind starts to unravel. She angrily wonders who makes her Irene fall for him, but their little touching moment is interrupted by Felix telling them that their mother is calling. Chloe promises to talk to her later and sprints off to meet her mommy. Irene looks at Felix in surprise, wondering if he's home, No-brainer, he tells her that he's just returned. Does this mean that Felix is really buying an island? Later, a man in a cloak is waving around a deed asking them to give him an island. Everyone looks at him as if he's lost his mind, but the trade was too sweet for them to refuse. Irene can't believe that there are people who can easily buy an island when they are not allowed to visit it. Maybe money really can solve any problem. Irene looks at the letter to avoid notice of the royals. He made a fake deed and even hired workers. Irene wonders about the purpose of this little deed, and Felix says it's not only for Kamolai Island. Irene smiles, wondering if it is true. Felix wonders who the person is. Irene wonders what he is talking about, and Felix just smiles beautifully. Irene blushes for the first time because of a man. She looks away, saying that it's the second prince. Felix wonders about him. He leans closer and wonders if she wants to have a strong relationship with the second prince. A strange darkness flashes across his face as he wonders if he wants to have a better relationship with the prince. Irene looks away, saying that he just wants the second prince to join them. Felix immediately lights up, realizing that her little girl toy is not in danger of being snatched away. He promises not to stop her, but reminds her not to do anything risky. Felix also asks for a bit of her time, even if she is washing up. Really, the dude knows no boundaries, but she happily agrees. Later, they meet Hugo in the study. Irene whispers into Felix's ear, wondering what kind of relationship this is. Felix just smiles, telling her that she must have a plan. She shouldn't keep it to herself and should spill the beans, as it's better to work together. Irene promises to do that. Hugo asks Irene if she is done preparing. It looks like Felix has clues from the future. He looks at the book and tells Irene to keep it a secret from Chloe. She might be hurt if she finds out. Irene nervously wonders if it will hurt her more if it's kept a secret. Hugo puts down the book. As they know, Chloe is an innocent and simple girl, and they're not sure how she will get hurt. They must think about the future and wait for the perfect moment to tell her later on, and he still doesn't understand what's going on. Felix smiles nervously, telling his father that he will tell him everything he knows so he shouldn't get angry. He turns to Irene, asking if he can let him in on their little secret. Later, Hugo is so furious that a cloud of cosmic energy is swirling around him. He's cursing the crown prince, who has finally given up on the idea of becoming a decent human. Irene looks at him nervously, wondering if he believes her words, and Hugo has no choice but to accept that the gods are guiding her hand. The crown prince can't meet Chloe, so he's going crazy and has gone completely quiet. It looks like he has changed. Irene wonders when it happened. He tells her that after the inception, Irene laughs. It looks like that guy is a piece of work. All the scumbags are working together against her. Hugo tells her that he doesn't know if he's lucky, but it looks like they can prevent these changes from happening. He asks Irene if he's getting it right, that just because the crown prince was rejected by a girl, the whole world fell apart. He can't believe that such an evil leader exists here. Irene decides to tell him more about it. The demon relic is round, and that's what she saw in the prophecy. It's one of the most powerful and dangerous objects in the world, and currently it is at a temple. The demon's power is in that relic, and the demon is named Larace. Felix starts sweating and clears his throat. If it is Larace, then it's the demon of battle and victory, so it should be all right. Hugo grits his teeth in frustration. Does this mean that he will be a sacrifice? Felix volunteers to sacrifice himself, but Irene tells them to stop with this nonsense. Hugo yells that it also means that he will receive the power of a demon, and is he being rational? But Felix tells him that there is no other way. Hugo angrily says that even if he's safe and sound after that, he will be judged by the gods. He will never enter Valhalla. No matter whether he gets eaten by the demon or not, he will be accused of treason and worshipping the demon. The whole family will crumble, so he needs to find another way. Felix tells his father that there is no other way. They can't let people know that someone on their side has a prophecy. Hugo looks at the heavens, completely defeated and wondering what they should do. What they don't know is that he has strengthened his resistance to magic. Felix smiles enthusiastically. Later, Irene knocks politely, trying to reach for Chloe, but there's a middle-aged woman serving Chloe tea and asking if Irene is here. Irene smiles, asking Olivia if she has had a good day. Olivia is Chloe's mother, and she can't get out of bed because of a mysterious disease. Even in this novel, her only character description is being a sick mom. In reality, Olivia is bright and sunny, just like Chloe. Olivia pouts as she doesn't get to meet Irene, so she's kind of sad, and Irene looks at her in shock, wondering if she's really sad, and she just smiles. She understands that she gets to meet Irene today, so it will be a good day. Chloe, on the other hand, looks like she just pulled an all-nighter before a big exam. She nervously wonders about her brother. Irene scratches her ear nervously. It looks like he's gotten beaten up by his father. Chloe nervously wonders why. Their father never lays hands. He's one of those gentle parenting types. Olivia, on the other hand, is ready to give him a piece of her mind. She gets out of her wheelchair angrily, but Irene tells them not to say anything. Later that night, Irene is busy tending to Felix's bruises. She wonders how that pretty face got bruised up. She even pinches his cheek, telling him not to smile in such a situation. Felix nervously wonders if she's mad, and she agrees, yelling, "How can he say those things? How can he say that it's all right if he dies?" For the first time in her life, genuine sadness sparkles in her eyes. She angrily asks him how he can say that he is okay with dying. Felix wonders if she's crying. She purses her lips and looks away, saying that it's really hurtful. Felix tries to make her laugh, even apologizing as he didn't say that he would die. Irene freezes, wondering if this sissy fit was for nothing. Felix smiles, telling them just to consider him dead. Irene wonders what's the difference. He's mixing up his words again. It will mean that he will give up his title, his fame, his honor, everything he strived to achieve so far, just to befriend a demon. Who does he think he is? Naruto. He will have to hide like a wanted person. Felix just smiles, telling them that he's okay with that, but Irene wants to hit him. Bless him with another bruise to complement his first one. He just smiles nervously. She doesn't need to worry about his fame, honor, and everything like that. Everyone has their own values to chase after, and Felix doesn't value those things. He will never waste his efforts on valueless stuff. He's more selfish than he appears to be. Irene looks at him, wondering how he can say that with a straight face. What are the values he's chasing? Felix just smiles, telling Irene that she knows about them. Irene tells him that he should find another way. All of a sudden, Irene proposes that they should assassinate their enemies before they get the chance to act. She knows all about that, so he doesn't need to give her that look. She then whips out a healing ointment, offering to rub it on his cheek. She gently reaches for a cheek and wonders why he can't treat himself. He's just waiting like a good little boy for Irene to massage his cheek. He let Hugo hit him just to please him. Irene hears his explanation and retracts her hand, telling him to treat himself if that's the case. Felix playfully leans closer, asking Irene to do it for him. He smiles, enjoying her expression, and asks if she's stressed. Irene just looks away, telling him that he's being noisy. She starts applying the ointment. It stings initially, and Irene tells him that he has a handsome face, so why doesn't he feel uncomfortable when she stretches it? He tells her that it's fine if it's her. He points out that he has a resistance to magic now. He asks her to forgive him for coming up with this illusion, and Irene tells him not to smile like that. Felix enjoys how straightforward she is. Later that night, the moon smiles gloomily through a dense blanket of clouds. Out of thirst, someone gets out of bed holding a candle, but blood-stained bodies are waiting for them. A voice calls out for someone, for mother or father or brother to come here. Koloi approaches a blood-filled chamber and her eyes widen in shock. She looks at Felix, standing away from her with blood smeared over his porcelain skin. But in reality, it's not Felix, but someone else entirely. His eyes are bloodshot, and he coldly tells her that he has killed her entire family. With his off-brand Sharingan, he tries to cosplay Itachi, telling Chloe that everyone she loves is dead. Chloe looks at him, wondering who he is. Irene gets up. Her nightgown is drenched with night sweat. She realizes that she was having a nightmare. A voice tells her that if she's up, then she should get ready for breakfast. Irene leaves her army of stuffed toys behind and puts on a robe, and pauses in front of the door, reflecting on her nightmare. Later, Chloe asks her if she had a good sleep. Instead of answering, Irene asked Chloe what about her, and Chloe slept well. She asks about Felix and the other adults in this mansion. Chloe tells her that her father is out early and her mother is still sleeping. Chloe wonders if they should go out to buy a ship to travel around the world with their family. She smiles beautifully, as it would be nice to live on that island. Chloe notices Irene being a little quiet and wonders what's going on. Irene says that she doesn't want to say anything since it's still early in the morning. Chloe shouldn't be surprised, but she should listen. Chloe holds her breath, wondering what she wants to say. It's raining hard on the dark and desolate castle. Felix looks at the letter in his hand, realizing that the time is finally on them. Irene wonders if he's really going to go through with this, and Felix just smiles, patting her head and telling her that he's fine. She shouldn't worry too much. Irene tries to protest, but Felix promises to be back. He turns to leave. Later, a storm brews in the heavens and thunder roars in the sky. A voice asks another person if they are in pain. Felix grits his teeth in frustration as someone stomps on his shoulder, telling him that he's been suffering for so long and it's painful for him to see, but it will work soon. Felix is pierced by a dark arrow in the shoulder. He looks at his oppressor with frosty blue eyes. It turns out it's Benjamin who is enjoying Felix's agony to the fullest. He tells him that it's amazing, and the Crown Prince tells the Duke that he shouldn't waste time enjoying this. Benjamin tells Lucas not to disturb him while he's living out his best life, but Lucas reminds him that there's a moderation for everything and he shouldn't overdo it. Benjamin looks at the prince's coat, which he is wearing, asking Lucas if he is dressed up to meet Chloe, and he just tells her to shut up. Felix, on the other hand, is trying his best to use his magic to elongate his life. A bright burst of energy strikes Benjamin's ankle, drawing blood. Benjamin falls to his knees, and Felix looks at him with unyielding eyes. Benjamin just smiles, pointing out that he's more agile than he thought. He can even use magic, and that's fascinating. He turns to Sir Constantine, wondering if his foot looks like it's going to fall off or if it's curable. Constantine just looks away, saying that he doesn't like it. After all, there is no unity, this is just a combination. All three of the scumbags going for Chloe are banded together to go for Felix instead. Though Constantine is not too eager to carry out this plan. This is the first time and the last time he wants to be involved in something like this. But Benjamin tells them that he has no intention of stopping until he gets Chloe. If he wants to stop, he should skip their little collaboration, but he can't prevent it. Constantine grimaces. Thanks to the Duke, his beliefs have been shattered. He calls Benjamin shameless, and Benjamin just smiles, telling him that he has participated of his free will. So why is he getting angry? He fishes into his coat pocket and brings out a flaming ring. It is supposed to be able to cure his leg. He looks at Felix and decides to forgive him for making his leg into a mop. Felix clenches his fist in determination and strikes him with the arc of frosty magic, but each attack leaves him more breathless. He spits out blood, and Benjamin tells him to calm down. He will die from liver shock if he uses magic again. Felix looks at him with pale blue eyes. Benjamin promises to relieve him of his agony. He tells him to take a deep breath and places a cigar in his mouth. He tells him to take a deep breath and exhale. Felix starts coughing violently, and Benjamin tells him that if he inhales the smoke, it will relieve the pain for a bit. Though it won't work long, he will have enough time to say his last words and send his will back to his family and to the person he has in his heart. Felix pauses for a moment as Benjamin smiles. He must be guessing that if he commits suicide, he will be eaten by a devil, so it's better to have a conversation so that he can die peacefully and move on to the afterlife. Benjamin whips out a box of cigars, saying that he must have gotten used to it. He will die before he gets used to it, but he's not sure what to talk about till then. He tries to make Felix understand that it's worth watching. He's going to say the same thing that a lady told him. He slips a silver ring on Felix's finger. Wondering what she says, Benjamin gets up, telling them that they shall leave later. If they meet again, then he will give him a proper burial. Constantine turns to look at Felix, and the other two wonder what he is looking at. Constantine also turns to leave, leaving Felix at the mercy of a devil, leaving him bruised, his body shattered, and his only consolation a box of cigars. But the fighting spirit burning in his eyes hasn't extinguished. Felix smiles and curses as a bright flame burns around him. All of a sudden, he feels refreshed and wonders where he should start. Irene, on the other hand, is sleeping with her teddy bear, and a strange shape looms over her. She wipes her eyes and looks at Felix, his shirt a bloody mess and his hair disheveled, his skin full of scratches and bruises. Irene looks at Felix, and her heart drops. A voice echoes in Felix's mind. Wondering what he is waiting for, he should give in to his lust. He reaches for Irene, and Irene looks at the approaching hand in horror. But instead of anything bad happening, he just pats her on the head and smiles like his usual self. Irene pinches her cheek, trying to decide if it's a dream or reality. She looks at Felix bleeding like a slaughtered pig and wonders what's going on. Is he all right? Did he fight a bear and lose? Felix smiles, telling her to stop wiping it, and he's also a story. Irene tells him to hurry up and see seek the proper treatment. Can he walk? She even offers to help him, but the voice echoing in his mind tells him to make her happy with hell's pleasure now, and Felix tells the voice to shut the hell up. When he was left to his own fate back at the mansion, Felix heard a voice telling him that he couldn't delay it. The voice has lived for 20 years, but there's still magic left. With a pounding headache, Felix wonders if it is the Archmage. He lights up a cigar and puffs it, completely ignoring the voice as the voice wonders if he's even listening. Felix just yanks the arrow out of his shoulder as the voice offers him great power. If he gave him half of his body and his soul, he wouldn't have to worry about facing anyone. He would become stronger than Sukuna, stronger than Muzan, and doesn't that sound tempting? The voice continues to tempt Felix, telling him not to underestimate him as there is no other way. He should think about the power he can get. Doesn't he thirst for it to vanquish his enemies, and he needs to answer the voice right away? Felix, on the other hand, is just busy inspecting his glasses, wondering if he is going to have to order a pair from Amazon. The voice is starting to sound like an angry girlfriend rather than a tempting demon. It's not too pleased about being ignored. It continues to promise him enhanced resistance to magic and even tries to negotiate with Felix, ready to settle for a third of his body. The voice is even ready to settle for a quarter of his body. Felix finally answers the voice, telling him to shut up. His head hurts. The voice can't believe that the great Felix has answered him. Felix calls out to Laras, and the demon is glad that he finally got an answer. After cold calling him with promises of power, he is finally ready to settle on a quarter of his body. Whatever he wants will be given to him. Felix, on the other hand, just wants Laras to be a good little boy and stay in his body like Kurama. That's not the answer Laras was expecting. And does that mean that Felix is ready to accept him? Laras is so hysterical that he even questions why he got into this crazy guy. Felix tells him not to curse while using his body. Laras is so fed up with his nonchalant attitude that he tells him to listen carefully. He knows about the magic that is engraved on the arrow. Before pushing him away, his mind was being erased, and there's no way that he doesn't know about it. He's not doing this to save his family, but it's for a child. So isn't he frustrating? Felix gasps in surprise, and he feels himself falling through a hall of thorns, but he regains his composure and tells Laras that he just acts according to his fate. He imagines standing in front of his fallen body. The voice can't believe that he was determined enough to even erase the child's memory. So he's not an angel himself. Felix just smiles, telling him that he's not an angel. He thinks he is. He's the angel born in hell. Now, can he have a new set of clothes? Laras can't believe that the first demand Felix is putting out is new threads. He can't do that, and Felix calls him useless. Laras pauses for a moment, wondering what he is doing. Felix tells him not to be worried and not to be too surprised, and Lares calls him a crazy guy, asking him if he wants revenge for those who left him in such a sorry state. But Felix just tells him that that is his business. He doesn't need a 2-cent demon's power to get his revenge. Lares wonders how he plans to get his revenge if he can't even use magic thanks to the ring on his finger. Felix burns his old body, telling Lares that he won't be satisfied. He doesn't know why, but he feels refreshed. Lares realizes that he got into a crazy guy. Felix finishes retelling his story, and Irene goes ballistic. How can he be so calm about it? Felix just apologizes even though he doesn't feel like it. He indeed has a dangerous demon lurking in his body. He thinks about the battle that is about to come and the victory that he wants. Lares whispers, asking him if he can't take it anymore. Felix looks at Irene standing there in her nightgown. Lares is the demon of lust and love, and it whispers that Felix just wants his own image in those eyes. Felix leans closer and grabs her shoulder, as Lares whispers that he just wants her to cry and beg forever. Felix feels himself slipping, but he grits his hand in frustration and calls out to Irene before sitting next to her.